Two incomes can make you poorer than one, not because you're bad with money, not because you don't budget hard enough, but because two paychecks can quietly erase the one thing that actually keeps a household safe: margin. And here's the sick joke. The more successful you look on paper, the more fragile your life can become in real life. If your lifestyle needs both incomes to keep breathing, you're not building a financial life. You're operating a machine that can't ever shut off. And machines break. Why this matters? Let's talk about what fragile looks like in 2026 America. It's a couple earning solid money, maybe $120,000, $140,000, even $180,000 combined, but their savings account looks like a sad plant. They're not shopping for yachts. They're just trying to keep the basic life running. The mortgage or rent that eats half a paycheck. Childcare that costs more than a used car every year. Health insurance that still somehow doesn't cover anything until you pay a small fortune. And two cars because the calendar doesn't care that public transit is a fantasy in most places. Then life does what life does. A layoff, a pregnancy complication, a parent who suddenly needs help, a child who needs extra support, a burnout that doesn't ask for permission. And in that moment, the question isn't, can we cut back on DoorDash? The question becomes, can we keep the house? Can we keep the cars? Can we stay afloat for 90 days? Because when your fixed bills are sized for two incomes, losing one income doesn't feel like half. It feels like pulling the chair out from under the whole table. What we're doing today. Here's the twist you're not supposed to say out loud. The second income used to be the backup plan. Now it's the default. It's already spent before it lands. And that's why two incomes often create less security than one. Today, we're going to do three things. 1. Map the trap, how normal families get cornered without noticing. 2. Expose the rulebook, 5 hidden rules that turn earning more into owing more. 3. Build the escape plan, the one income foundation, plus a 730-90 checklist to buy your options back. No fantasy. No just make more money. Just a plan that works in the world we actually live in. Trap map symptoms versus the real problem. Let's diagnose the two income trap the way a mechanic diagnoses an engine. The symptoms. You might be in this trap if any of these sound familiar. Your combined income looks impressive, but you still stress about a $1,000 surprise. You can't imagine one partner stepping back from work without panic. You're doing fine only when everything goes perfectly every month. Your savings grows, and then instantly gets eaten by one random expense. You feel guilty spending, yet somehow also feel like you never have enough. That last one is the worst guilt and scarcity at the same time. The real problem. The real problem usually isn't daily spending. It's that your fixed costs, the bills you can't negotiate with, expanded to fill both incomes. Housing, childcare, insurance, car payments, student loans, and 1,000 small subscriptions that now feel like oxygen. And once fixed costs are set, you don't feel rich. You feel locked in. Micro twist. It's not that you spend too much. It's that you committed too much. A budget can't save you from a life built on the edge of the cliff. Rulebook, 5 laws of the two-income trap. Law number 1. Approval is not affordability. The bank doesn't ask, will this make you safe? The bank asks, can you make the payment under ideal conditions? When you apply for a mortgage, the math is built around what you can qualify for with two incomes. So the system nudges you toward the maximum you can survive, not the minimum you can thrive. And that's how people end up with a payment that's technically possible but practically exhausting. Micro twist. A lender's yes is not a blessing. It's a permission slip to run your life at 95% capacity. And 95% capacity feels fine, until one normal human thing happens. Law number 2. Two incomes. Trigger a bidding war for normal. When two incomes became common, families didn't suddenly live like kings. Instead, normal life got repriced. Because if most buyers have two incomes, sellers don't have to care what one income can afford. Markets don't ask what's fair. Markets ask what people can pay. So the floor rises. Homes get bid up. Rents rise because landlords know two paychecks exist. Good neighborhoods become subscription tiers. Micro twist. It's not that your grandparents were better with money. The world they lived in had a different price tag on the middle class. Today, you often pay extra just to access things that used to be included in the default package: decent schools, safe streets, reasonable commutes, and if you want all of those at once. Congratulations. Your wallet is now the application. Law number 3. The second paycheck gets the worst deal. People say, 2 incomes means double money, but the second paycheck tends to come with a higher marginal tax bite, extra payroll taxes, and a pile of work-related expenses that don't show up on the job offer. Commute, parking, gas, maintenance, work clothes, convenience meals, random spending because you're too tired to think. Micro twist. The second job doesn't just create income. It often creates costs. So you're not comparing income versus no income. You're comparing net contribution versus the life you give up to get it. Time, energy, presence, flexibility, and those are more expensive than people admit. Law number 4, childcare, turns money into a pass-through. If you have kids, the second income can turn into a strange loop. You work to pay someone so you can keep working. Now, childcare is real work and deserves real pay. This isn't a rant at caregivers. This is about household math. When childcare costs thousands per month, the second income stops being extra. It becomes the thing that keeps the childcare engine running. Micro twist. For many households, childcare isn't a line item. It's the price of staying in the two-income system. And if anything disrupts that system, a sick kid, a daycare closure, a schedule change, the whole setup starts shaking. Law number 5. 2 incomes can create 2 points of failure. This is the part people don't feel until it's too late. If your bills require both incomes, then both incomes become mission critical, which means you're depending on 2 jobs staying stable, 2 people staying healthy, 2 schedules staying compatible, 2 employers not suddenly changing the rules. That's not security. That's a high-wire act with no net. Micro twist. 2 incomes can increase your household's earning power, while decreasing your household's survival power. Because survival is about what happens when things go wrong. And things go wrong on schedule. Just not a schedule you can put into Google Calendar. Math moment, where the second income actually goes. Let's do the part most people avoid because it hurts. We're going to look at a simplified example. Not financial advice, just illustration. Scenario. Partner A earns enough to cover a big chunk of the household. Partner B earns $55,000 per year, gross. Sounds like a lot. Right, that's a whole salary. Now watch what happens when we translate gross into real. Step 1. Taxes and payroll. Depending on state, benefits, and brackets. A rough combined bite for federal plus payroll, plus state might be around 30% for many households. So $55,000 becomes about $55,000 times 1 minus 0.30 equals $38,500. Take home approximately. Already, you're not dealing with $55,000. You're dealing with $38,500. Micro twist. Your life is priced in gross. Your choices are funded in net. That gap is where stress lives. Step 2. Childcare one-child example. Let's use $14,000 per year for childcare as a rough national-ish placeholder. In many areas, it's more. Some areas, it's less. But the point is the shape of the math. $38,500 minus $14,000 equals $24,500. Step 3. Work costs. Now add costs that exist mainly because the second person is working commute plus parking plus wear and tear plus extra driving, let's say $6,000 per year. That can be conservative if a second car becomes necessary. $24,500 minus $6,000 equals $18,500. Step 4. Exhaustion spending. This is the sneaky one. When both adults are running on fumes. Spending shifts. More takeout. More delivery. More quick fixes. Occasional cleaning help. More convenience groceries. Let's say $3,000 per year. $18,500 minus $3,000 equals $15,500 net contribution. So the household has a $55,000 second income, but the net impact might look closer to $15,500. That's not nothing, but it's not what it looks like on paper. Now micro twist, the one that stings. If you sized your mortgage, cars, and lifestyle around the full two-income number, you're not building security with that second income. You're using it as a life support machine, and life support machines are great until they're unplugged. What if there are two kids? This is where people go quiet. If childcare doubles, the second paycheck can shrink fast. Sometimes the net gets uncomfortably close to zero. Again, no judgment, just visibility. Because you can't escape a trap you can't see. Escape plan. The one income foundation. Here's the mindset shift that changes everything. Stop treating two incomes like they're permanent and guaranteed. Instead, build your life as if one income could disappear, because sometimes it does. This is called the one income foundation. Your fixed costs should be survivable on one income. Not luxurious, not Instagram ready, survivable. Then the second income becomes powerful for what it should have been all along. Emergency fund, debt payoff, retirement investing, taxable investing. And yes, some fun because you're not a robot, but the order matters. Micro twist fun is fine. Fragility isn't. The goal is not to punish yourself. The goal is to buy back options. Options are the real luxury. The 7/30/90. Checklist concrete steps. The next 7 days. Stop the trap from tightening. 1. Calculate your one income survival number. List the monthly bills you must pay to avoid disaster. Housing rent/mortgage, utilities. Groceries realistic, not fantasy. Insurance, minimum debt payments. Transportation, not the nice life. The we can breathe life. 2. Identify your top 2 fixed cost threats. For most households, it's some combination of housing, cars, childcare, health insurance. Circle the 2 that would break you first if one income vanished. 3. Freeze new monthly payments for 30 days. No new subscriptions. No 0% APR for 18 months traps. No upgrades that add a permanent bill. Micro twist. A raise can help. A new payment can erase a raise in 5 seconds. The next 30 days, rebuild margin. 1. Create a circuit breaker emergency fund. Even $1,000 to $2,000 changes how you handle surprises. It keeps a car repair from turning into credit card debt. It keeps a medical bill from becoming a spiral. 2. Redirect the second income on purpose. Set automation right after payday. Bucket A emergency fund plus high interest debt. Bucket B retirement match if your job offers one. If the money lands in checking and waits, it disappears. Checking accounts are not storage. They're a conveyor belt. 3. Cut variable spending second. Cut fixed spending first. Don't start with stop buying coffee. Start with the bills that own you. Insurance shopping. Phone plan. Subscriptions. Car costs. Renegotiating where possible. Micro twist coffee doesn't trap people. Contracts do. The next 90 days, make 2 incomes optional. 1. Build toward 3 months of expenses. Not because you're paranoid, because life is expensive when it surprises you. If 3 months feels impossible, make it a timeline. We're building 3 months by December. That's still a plan. 2. Stress test your life with a 1 income month. For 1 month, pretend 1 income is gone. Live only on 1 paycheck. Send the other paycheck to savings/debt/investing automatically. You'll learn more in 30 days than in 30 hours of budgeting. 3. Reduce the bills that require 2 incomes to exist. This is where choices live. Maybe it's refinancing later. Maybe it's downsizing when a lease ends. Maybe it's delaying the dream upgrade. Maybe it's choosing a less expensive zip code with a longer-term plan. Not easy, but powerful. Micro twist. The best financial plan isn't the one that looks rich. It's the one that keeps working when you're tired, sick, or unlucky. Quick note, this is educational content, not personal financial advice. Taxes, childcare, and housing costs vary a lot by state and family situation. If you're making big decisions, consider a qualified professional and always run the numbers for your reality. The point isn't to copy someone else's budget. The point is to rebuild margin your ability to absorb shocks. Here's the truth. Nobody puts on a motivational poster. Wealth isn't your income. Wealth is your options. Options to say no to a bad boss. Options to handle a health issue without losing your home. Options to help your family without detonating your finances. Options to breathe. Two incomes aren't automatically better than one if both of them are already spent before they arrive. So here's my question for you, and I want you to answer honestly in the comments. If one income disappeared tomorrow, what bill would break you first? Housing, cars, childcare, healthcare. No shame. Just clarity. And if you want more videos that expose the money traps nobody explains and give you a real plan to escape them, hit subscribe. Next up, we're talking about a trap that looks responsible but quietly drains your future. The car payment trap. Because nothing says I'm doing fine like paying $700 a month to sit in traffic. You're not broke because you're lazy. You're broke because the game is priced to keep you running. Now you know the rules. Now you can change the game.